Hey guys, what's up? So I'm sitting in my parking garage right now, which is why it's so dark. I'm trying to use the light to compensate for everything. It's about the middle of the day, but I'm in an underground garage, so there's no light. Some cool things are happening. Tomorrow my friend is planning on buying a Porsche Boxster S. So I'm trying to get some other people to come with us to go and get delivery of that car. So that car is out of state. We go to school at U of I. The car is located in St. Louis, which is Missouri, which is right across the state line. So I thought it'd give me a cool opportunity to talk about buying a car out of state. So I want to focus this video on that. So stick around if you're interested in doing that. I took delivery of my car out in Arizona, but I took delivery from a dealership. And tomorrow's sale is happening with a private seller. So I thought I'd go into differences with that as well a little bit. So yeah, stick around. If you're new to the channel, I go to school at U of I. The supercar community is a bit dead right now because it's the dead of winter, it's freezing cold, and none of us want to go outside. A lot of us are also running summer tires at the moment. All right, guys, so I'm going to hit the road while I talk, get some more light. But yeah, let's get into buying a car from out of state. So arguably one of the most important things to keep in mind when you're trying to buy a car from out of state is taxation. So I actually took delivery of my car out in Arizona, and I tried to bring it back to Illinois. And I registered the car out here in Illinois. So taxation plays an important part in both places. Firstly, when I bought the car out in Arizona, I had to pay sales tax on the actual purchase because I did take delivery of the car out in Arizona. Then, when I try and come and register the car in Illinois, the DMV will look at taxes that I've paid, and they'll perform some calculations, which I'll go into right now. The basic principle is the fact that since you're registering the car in Illinois, the Illinois DMV has to make sure that they've collected taxes on the actual car. Now, an important concept to understand here is reciprocity, or being a reciprocal with one another. And the reciprocity lies between the two states. The first state being the state the car is currently located in, or the place where the car is for sale from. And the second place is where you're trying to register the car. And reciprocity state by state varies state by state. So for example, Arizona is reciprocal with Illinois, and I'll go into what that means in a second. But you have to make sure, if you don't want to double pay your taxes, that the state you're trying to buy the car from and the state that you're trying to register the car in are both reciprocal with each other. What does reciprocal mean? So, I bought the car out in Arizona. I paid sales tax out in Arizona. When I try and register the car here in Illinois, I need to make sure that the DMV will not double charge me tax again. And that will only happen if the states are reciprocal. How do you know which states are reciprocal? It's a very hard process to find out. It took me about 3 weeks. I went to 5 different DMVs in the state of Illinois. I called the Illinois Department of Motor Vehicles until I got through to one person that put this into a computer and told me that I would not have to double pay taxes because the two states are reciprocal. If the two states are not reciprocal, what would end up happening is you would end up paying sales tax out in Arizona because the dealership has given you delivery out in Arizona and the sale has transpired out in Arizona. And then when you try and register the car out here in Illinois, the Illinois DMV will look at the fact that Arizona is not reciprocal with Illinois and then recharge you taxes on the sale again. On a car like this, where taxes can run you $9,000, $10,000, that is not a check you want to be writing. So again, it's very important to make sure that your states are reciprocal. Now, this is under the assumption that you want to buy your car or you want to take delivery of the car in the state. So I road tripped my car back from Arizona, so I took delivery out in Arizona. If you want to buy the car from a state that is not reciprocal with your state, for example, for argument's sake, let's assume Texas is not reciprocal with Illinois. You can still buy that car, but you have to be very careful. If you want to buy a car from a state that's not reciprocal with the state that you live in, you have to be very careful on how you do it, because if you don't do it correctly, you're going to end up double paying taxes. For example, let's assume that Texas is not reciprocal with Illinois. What you would have to do is, and I would highly recommend this, don't buy the car sight unseen, right? Go to Texas, check out the exact car you want to buy, test drive it. If they've done any pre-sale inspections or like a 10-point inspection, 100-point inspection, whatever, go make sure that all the documentation is correct, the car is exactly what you want, and then load it on a trailer, right? Don't sign any documentation out in Texas. don't sign the dealership, don't sign anything, don't take delivery of the car out in Texas. Instead, what you want to do is you want to put the car onto a trailer or get a transport company to transport the car to Illinois. And in the process, what will happen is the dealership will sign over a document called a bill of lading to the transport company. So the transport company is now responsible for the car from Texas to Illinois. And then the transport company will sign over the bill of lading to you in Illinois. So the official deal has now technically taken place in Illinois, and the only tax that you will be charged is out in Illinois. If the sale officially happens in Texas, where, for example, you decide to road trip the car back from Texas to Illinois, what'll end up happening is, again, this is assuming that the states are not reciprocal. Sorry, traffic. When you try and register the car out in Illinois with the Illinois DMV, they will look at the fact that the states are not reciprocal and they will double charge you the tax again. The reason that I highly recommend that you go out and check the car out in Texas anyway is that if this is your first transportation with a car or your first time using a third-party transporter, as hard as they may try to transport your property, things happen in transport. So go there, take a lot of pictures of the car. This is what I was going to do. I was going to take if I had to take delivery in Illinois, because Arizona was not reciprocal with Illinois, I was still going to buy this car, but I would have had to load it up onto a trailer and go out to Tucson anyway, take lots of pictures of the car, and then when I take the car off the trailer, make sure that it's in the exact condition that I put the car on. You can also note down the odometer reading and make sure that the transport company has not used your car in any way in the transit process. So yeah, guys, that should be the tax process as far as when it comes to a dealership purchase. Now, tomorrow's purchase, we are trying to do it with a private seller, which is a little different. I went to the DMV with the guy that's planning on buying the car tomorrow, and from what we understand, all that we need to do is we need to just get the title signed over to his name, which can be done by the seller. Go to the DMV, get a permit, which will give him time to drive the car, or time for him to drive the car, because he needs to have some documentation saying that he's allowed to drive that car. We come over the state line in Illinois, go to any Illinois DMV, and then pay taxes on the sale price in Illinois and get the plates and any other documentation that we need for the car. So that seems like a pretty straightforward process from a private seller. All right, guys, what's up? So I got a call in the middle of that shooting that video, so I'm back in my garage. It's pretty late right now. I'm gonna go sleep right after uploading this content. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. That's the entire process of buying a car from out of state. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment. I'll try to answer them. Again, I'm trying to get into YouTubing quite a bit. I'm a college student, so technically this is being done on the side. But yeah, I'm very active and I love to talk about these kind of things. So if you've got any questions, if you're planning on buying a car out of state, if you have any questions about a private sale versus a dealership sale, I've researched the process pretty extensively. So yeah, feel free to comment below and we'll get to talking.